Hi y'all, welcome back to another video. So I'm going to be showing you how I apply my gel extensions without using an e-file. So I'm going to get started by pushing back my cuticles. The cuticle remover I just used was by Blue Cross, but if you want something that has a gel-like consistency, you should check out the cuticle remover by Sally Hansen, but either one of those will do. I am pushing back my cuticles very gently, and then I'm going to flip this tool to the other side to scrape off any of that dead skin from the nail. And if there's anything left behind, I will go in with my cuticle nippers and take away anything that's left. Then once I'm done, I'll cleanse the nail with 70% alcohol and a lint-free wipe. So that was pretty simple. I am going to go ahead and stop right here to size my extensions. I'm still using the gel extensions from Vic Gel Plus. This is their stiletto style, and you can find these at Sweetie Nail Supply for about $7 a box. I did a haul when I first bought these a few months ago, which you can check that out here, but I've been using them consistently ever since so I can form an opinion about them. I have been putting these through the ringer, basically making sure that they don't bend, snap, or break on me, and they haven't thus far. But these are not pre-etched, so I am going to add a little bit of chemical etching with the Gel X Prep at the bottom half of the extension. Etching is pretty much creating texture so that the products that come after this step can grip to it, which can help increase retention. So to do this, I'm moving my brush in different motions, up and down, side to side, circular motions as well. And then when I'm done, it'll look something just like this. Then I'll go back to my natural nails and apply a dehydrator. This one is also by Opre. But after this step, I'll do one of two things. So if I want long lasting extensions, I'll go directly in with primer. This one here is from Opre. You can use this, and I will apply it all over the nail and let it dry down for a few seconds. But you guys know I use peel off base coat very often. So if I decide to do that, I will skip primer entirely and go straight in with the peel off base coat. Peel off base coat is going to be great for people who are content creators or those of you who just like to change your nails very frequently. Some peel off base coats last longer than others, but that's going to be a whole nother story. This one I'm using here is from Moran. I've been testing it for a little while, and I of course will link it down in the description box below, but this is a gel product, so I need to go ahead and cure it before applying my gel extension. To apply the extensions, I will be using this gel here from Vic Gel Plus as well. This is my first time using this, and my first impressions was this isn't as thick as the Yogo Zombie base gel that I talk to you guys about all the time, but it also isn't thin. In my opinion, this is more of a medium-ish viscosity, but I did think it was easy to work with. The bottle is small, okay? I think it's about 10 milliliters, but you only need a little bit of product, and that's what I liked about it. The other thing I will say about this is it took a little bit longer to flash cure this in place. I did count in my head, and it was about 18 seconds before I noticed the gel completely stopped moving. And yes, I did count to myself, and I also wrote the number down so I wouldn't forget it in the voiceover. But this isn't a bad thing. So let's say you apply your extensions, you accidentally put too much glue, and you go to flash cure and you notice that there's some glue seeping from the sides. If it doesn't flash cure super fast, you then have time to clean up the excess glue with a flat brush and some alcohol. If it flash cured too fast, it'd be too late to do that, and you would have to file the excess glue off. So there's definitely pros and cons to that, and it comes down to personal preference. However, I still feel like this gel was easy to work with and could be perfect for a beginner. If you're not familiar with how to apply gel extensions, I'm just putting a little bit of gel on the bottom half, and then I'm going to line the extension up with my cuticle area and press down slowly until the gel hits the free edge of my natural nail, and then I'm going to flash cure. But once you have all of the extensions applied, you would then do a full cure, and I'm going to move to my bigger lamp to do that. Next, I'm going to take my hand file and do a little bit of filing around the cuticle area to make sure everything is sitting nice and flush. But these extensions are very thin around the cuticle area, so much of this wasn't needed, but I'm also going around the edges to make sure nothing is sharp or poking me. Then I'm going to switch over to a buffing block so I can remove the shine and get these extensions ready for polish. If you don't feel like using a buffing block, you can use a base gel. I feel like using a buffing block and using a base gel takes me about the same amount of time, so it's just whatever I'm in the mood for. Even though I've already filed the bottom half of the extension with my hand file, I'm still going to go in with a little, and I mean a tiny bit of acetone. And I'm just going to gently scrub around the cuticle area. The thing about this though, you want to make sure you're using the smallest amount of acetone because what this does is melt the extension just a little bit. If you use too much acetone, you can actually overdo this and it kind of defeats the purpose. So use a small amount getting started. And if you notice you need to do a little bit more, it's better to add acetone than to try to take it away last minute. There we have it. The extensions are on, ready to go. So let's do some nail art. So we will be doing some green lace Frenchies. So that means we need a natural looking base color. And I looked through my stash and decided to pull out something I've never used before. At least I don't think I have. But this is Sunset Suede from the D&D Sheer collection. And I am going to apply 2 thin layers of this, making sure to cure in between each one. But looking at my nails right now, I really do wish I went in with 3 coats because as you can see, my natural nails are quite long right now. Well, they're long to me, but you can see them through the extensions. And when I'm in sunlight, they're more apparent. Not as much as when I'm inside, but you know, it is what it is. It's too late, but definitely would have done that differently. I'm going to be drawing some French tips, but before I do that, I like to go in with a matte top gel and apply this all over the nail so that I have a smooth matte canvas. It might just be in my head, but I do feel like the brush glides a lot smoother. So I do this every time, but if you don't want to use a matte top gel, you can definitely use a buffing block instead and get the same effect. To draw the French tips, I'm going to be using this black here from Melody Susie. Y'all, their black and white is perfect for drawing French tips because it is truly a 1-coat coverage. And no, this is not sponsored. I actually just like these. To draw my French tips, I am going to start on one side of the nail right at the midpoint and then curve the brush upward towards the tip. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to keep doing it until they meet in the middle. It's like a swish swish motion, kind of like when your windshield wipers are going back and forth. That's literally what I'm doing with my brush. Once I have my French tips drawn, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the empty space. But I'm going to do this with the brush that comes in the polish bottle. It's just wider, so I'll get everything done faster. After curing the black polish, I am going to go in with the Macart nail art foil glue and apply this only on top of the black areas and then curing once I'm done. Just like the last video, I'm going to play around with some foils again, but instead of black, this time I'm going to use the white. And these foils did give me a little, problems. They annoyed me a little bit in the last video, so I definitely wanted to give them another try. I am measuring the foil so I can cut it into smaller pieces to have a bit more control over them. And then I just made sure to have enough foil that would cover the black areas of the nail. And then I cut slightly above where the nail stops, so if I needed additional foils, I would at least have it. But once I have it cut into smaller pieces, I am going to line it up. But instead of going all the way down the black areas of the nail, I'm only going to put the foil like right in the center of the French tip. Once I have it in place, I'm then going to apply pressure. I started off using a silicone tool, but then I tried it with my finger and I liked the result that the finger gave, so I just stuck to that. When pulling off the foil, I did move kind of slow because I was nervous that the design wasn't going to fully transfer, and if it didn't, I had time to lay the foil back down and add more pressure and then pull it off again. But either way, little pressure, a lot of pressure, slow, moving fast, the design still skipped. I am determined to make these work fully without skipping. So you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it until I can get them down. It just didn't happen this time, that's all. So here's what the nails look like with the foils applied. We're not done, so let's keep going because I'm so excited to show you guys this. Okay, y'all, this right here is the Rosy Hip Gemstone collection. And you guys know I'm obsessed with magnetic gel polishes, but I like the neutral / natural color ones. But hold on, let me pull out the swatch card for y'all to see this. Boom. Look at all these colors. They're so beautiful. It has like the most perfect magnetic particles in them. It gives you that glassy cat eye look that's trending all over social media right now, but you have different options for colors. And I don't know if you can tell, but on top of the magnetic particles, we have some glitter behind them. So like, look at the pink shade. You can really tell with that one. You see how there's pink glitter particles as well? Chef's kiss. Fire. Okay, like, come on, Rosy Hip, come through for us. And I was trying to figure out what color I wanted to do, but ultimately I settled on the emerald green because I was like, when's the last time we did a green look on this channel? It's been a minute. But I'm not gonna lie, my favorite is that royal blue back there. So comment your favorite down below because I'm curious to know what you guys like, because I'm trying to pull this out tomorrow for another nail look. Okay, so here is the emerald green, and look at all that glitterness. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so we're gonna apply this right on top of the black polish, but we're not going to cure it. I'm gonna go right in with my magnet. This set actually comes with its own magnet, but I couldn't find it, so I'm going to use this magnet here, and I'm just going to move up and down to concentrate all the magnetic particles to one side of the nail. And then this is what we'll have here, and you can kind of see that lace peekaboo moment, and you can also see some green glitter behind here. But before I flash cure, I am going to clean up the edges a little bit with acetone and my flat brush, and then I'm going to be taking a handheld lamp to pretty much freeze everything in place. I highly recommend that after you do one nail, you flash cure so that the magnetic particles freeze into place. Because if you don't, let's say I just did my pointer finger, right? And I decide to use my magnet on my middle finger now. The magnet doesn't know which nail to stop pulling the particles. So it can actually accidentally pull the pointer finger when you're working on the middle finger, for example. So you want to make sure everything is frozen into place. Ooh, one thing I want to show you with these polishes. Okay, so you saw how I activated the magnetic particles and pulled them all to one side, but here's a cool thing you can do. So you can actually demagnetize this. So you would do this by taking your magnet, waving it over the nail, and then you would only have a jelly green with green glitter particles instead of having a magnetic gel. You guys see the difference between the pointer finger and the middle finger? So yeah, you can pick which vibe you're going for, but I'm gonna bring those magnetic particles back because I still want that glassy cat eye look. And as I'm going down towards the bottom of the nail, like where the French tip gets a little bit thinner, I will switch over to a thin liner brush to make sure the green is fully covering the black as well. So you'll see me do that in some of the clips. So here's what we have so far. Let's go ahead and do a full cure. So I decided to wrap things up by applying a glossy top coat, and low-key, I wish I would have left the base of the nail matte and then the French tip shiny and see how that would have turned out. Kind of would have been fire, maybe it wouldn't have been. But once I'm done applying this, I'm going to do my final cure. And here are what the nails look like all done. Y'all, I really like the lace peekaboo moment. We're gonna call these peekaboo nails or something. And of course, I've said it multiple times already, I am in love with the gemstone collection. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of this look. What color should we use next in the gemstone collection? Because I definitely want to pull it back out again. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so on your way out. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video.